In a disaster, your radio is meant to be a lifeline. But what if it's a false promise? NIST tests show even firefighter radios can melt and stop working in the heat of a major blaze. And that popular hand crank radio you trust to charge your phone? It's often too inefficient to actually work. The truth is, most emergency radios are unreliable. We tested 4 during a power outage. Only 1 worked. We will break down why radios fail, show you our test results, and reveal the one that could save your life. So, what makes so many fail? The number one reason is surprisingly simple, yet it's the most common point of failure. It's the battery. In a prolonged outage, a radio is useless once its initial charge is gone. This is the most frequent real-world failure. But it's not just about runtime. Batteries have a shelf life. If you haven't checked yours, they might already be dead before you even need them. Relying on a single power source, only batteries, only solar, only a crank, creates a single point of failure. True reliability demands multiple options, but why not just use your phone? Because the entire cellular network is a fragile, centralized system waiting to break. During a crisis, cell towers overload or lose power, turning your smartphone into a brick just when you need critical information. Okay, so your radio has power. You should be safe, correct? Not always. Now we have to talk about the signal itself. What if the broadcast signal cannot reach your fully powered radio? There are invisible barriers that can turn your home into a dead zone. Modern buildings are a huge problem. Concrete walls, fire-rated doors, and even some windows can block radio waves, creating pockets of total silence. And digital radios have a hidden flaw. Unlike analog that gets staticky, a digital signal is perfect, right until it vanishes without any warning. These are not just theories. We have seen these exact failures happen in major historical disasters. During Hurricane Katrina, communication collapsed because different agencies used radios that couldn't talk to each other. That lack of interoperability was devastating. Remember we asked how a signal can fail? In a fire, it's not just the walls. The intense heat itself can destroy the radio, proving even pro gear has limits. Even backup systems for ham radio operators, the repeaters that extend their range, can fail due to old, poorly maintained batteries. And your local AM/FM station? It might be off air from the power outage or just broadcasting irrelevant pre-recorded content. So we have power failures, signal failures, and system failures. But there is one more weak link in the chain: the person operating the radio. In a crisis, an untrained person can cause chaos, using the wrong frequency, creating interference, or not knowing how to properly call for help. This leads to a common dangerous myth: that any radio will do. This belief leads people to buy devices that are too complex for their actual needs. For instance, advanced GMRS or ham radios are useless for two-way communication if they aren't pre-programmed. You cannot just scan for help. And a standard AM/FM radio cannot receive NOAA weather alerts, which are broadcast on a special frequency and are often the first official warning of a disaster. But the most common human error is simple neglect. A radio that isn't regularly tested and maintained is a radio that is already broken. Power, signal, systems, and user error. These are the 4 horsemen of radio failure. Now let's see how they wrecked our real-world test. Radio number 1. A basic crank model failed first. Its battery died quickly, and as predicted, the crank was useless for charging our phone. Radio number 2, a digital model, worked fine until we went to the basement. The signal vanished without warning inside that dead zone. Radio number 3 failed before we even began. Its batteries, forgotten for a year, were dead. It also couldn't receive critical NOAA alerts. Each failure was a mix of predictable problems. It shows that reliability isn't one feature. It's a system designed to overcome all these weak points. But one radio passed every test. Why? It had multiple power options, received all alert bands, and was built to be simple and durable. This confirms our thesis. Most emergency radios fail from having a critical single point of failure. The right choice is about resilience, not bells and whistles. When you choose a radio, demand redundant power, dedicated NOAA alerts, and simple construction. Then test it every few months. A tested radio is a tool. Your safety is too important to leave to chance. Don't get caught with a false sense of security. See the model that passed our test at the link below.